Join me as we go inside the Pierce County Jail to see a side of law enforcement that hopefully you've never seen before. Chief, when people drive by the jail, they see two distinct buildings. Can you give me a little bit of the history?
Sure. We have two facilities. We have the facility that was built in '02, and then we have the main jail that is off 9th that we built in '84. This facility is a direct supervision jail, which houses minimum to medium security inmates, and our main jail houses our maximum security inmates.
And if you were to look at misdemeanors, minor crimes versus felonies, the more major crimes, what's the breakout in the jail today?
Currently, we're at 96% felons. The rest are the misdemeanors, DWI, domestic violence, things like that.
What does a corrections deputy do on their everyday basis?
Real simple. Since we deem this as kind of like a city because it's all-inclusive, we have our healthcare system, we have our food system, so our corrections deputies are like the patrol officers within the facility. They make sure safety and security is there. They transport the inmates back and forth from their living units. They take them to court. So basically, the corrections deputies oversee and make sure everything is safe and secure.
When patrol brings somebody in here to be booked into the jail, what are the key things that are associated with booking?
Well, the most important and the first aspect is a medical evaluation on the person to make sure that we are accepting them into our facility. Once that's done, then we take their property, their jewelry, their watches off and stuff. Then we will put them in the body scanner to make sure they don't have anything hidden on their person. Once they're done with the body scanner, they will go to dress out. They will change into our jail uniform. At that point, they will sit in front of a deputy. The deputy will take all the personal information, date of birth, next of kin, things like that.
Scars, marks, tattoos.
Then the inmate will come back here. They will get photographed, fingerprinted, and that enters all their information into the database that State Patrol keeps. They will make a telephone call, let their friends or family know that they're in custody, and then we will take them up to a housing unit.
And then our body scanner is one of the key ways that we keep people from, when they're coming in, to bringing drugs into the jail?
Correct. Drugs or weapons. We actually had a female that was processed a few months ago that actually had a weapon, a small pistol that was not able to get into the facility. So the body scanner has been a wonderful tool to make sure that inside the facility stay safe. This is the laundry room.
These are some big washers and dryers. So how much laundry do we do in the jail?
Oh, we go through a lot of laundry. We have 754 inmates today. We do laundry exchange for their uniforms twice a week, and their bedding is once a week. So we generate a lot of dirty laundry.
And why would an inmate want to work in the laundry?
Several reasons. The biggest one is it makes time pass. It gives them something to do besides just sit in the unit. The other thing is they get a bag of commissary that allows them to have some treats later. Now we're on the 4th floor of the new jail, and we're going to be heading into Fort Delta, which is our new training center. This room allows us to train everybody on site and do things that are pertinent to the job of corrections. We can do defensive tactics move, we can do cuffing drills, and we can train them locally.
Hi, Deputy Yo. Welcome. Good to see you. And who's your partner?
This is Rebel. He is a 7.5-year-old Dutch Shepherd. And our job is basically to search contraband, which establishes and helps with safety.
As a corrections deputy with a canine, that's pretty unusual, isn't it?
It is. We were the first in the state of Washington to do it with corrections. Department of Corrections, DOC, has had them for 40 years.
With the dangers of fentanyl and other drugs, that combating the drug infiltration into the jail is probably more important than it's ever been.
It is. It's definitely got worse. There's been an uptake, so the dog still continues to prove to be the most efficient.
We're going to go to 2A, which is a living unit where some of the trustees are housed.
What's it like to be in an environment like this, supervising these inmates?
If you talk to them respectfully, you treat them with respect, they're going to give that back to you. Until they don't, And then when that's where the care and custody come in, to where we actually have to have a controlled environment to maintain them in. So that's where it gets handled differently. But most of the time, they're going to treat you the same way you treat them.
What has changed the most in your 18 years of service to Pierce County?
Types of inmates that are coming in the facility. You know, you look at a lot of the misdemeanors that aren't coming into jail now. So we're getting a lot more violent offenders, more mental health.
And that has changed the culture that exists in the jail among the inmates.
Yeah, definitely changes the atmosphere.
So this is the old jail? This is very different than the one we were at previously.
That's correct. Here, we have indirect to where the officers are not in with the inmate. The new jail, it was minimum security. Here, this is considered max security.
So these are the most serious charges are with these inmates. How long will they be here typically?
They could be here until adjudicated, which can take anywhere from a year to 3 years. They can also be here awaiting a mental health review from Western State. The courts cannot move forward until they are found competent to stand trial.
Deputy Lazaro, how long have you been working for Pierce County?
2 months.
2 months, fantastic. Why did you choose to become a corrections deputy?
I became a corrections deputy to get my foot in the door for law enforcement.
So 2 months into it, what do you think of your work?
I think it's great. It's a lot of learning. I work with great people. You know, they look out for me, so I look out for them, and we got a good crew here.
You feel like you're part of a team that's all working together?
Team, family, yes.
Chief, thank you for sharing with me and our community the important and challenging work that our corrections team does.
Thank you.